Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bronson Rants, and today I'm here to talk to you about game reviews. I've been doing a lot of research about Gamergate for a future episode of this show where I talk about Gamergate. But today I want to address a couple of things about game reviews. I've been reviewing games for a long time, if you want to get technical, since 2005, but if you don't count the 2-year break I took since 2008, and then professionally since I joined the Gamer Access in 2011. It has been a lot of years of reviewing games, and then in college I did study journalism and how to review products, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Like, a review needs to be objective. And I wanted to let everyone know there is no such thing as a fucking objective review. It doesn't exist, at least not of art, which video games are technically considered art. Same thing with entertainment. Because this is what an objective review of a video game would sound like. It's a game. It has sound. It is designed by blank developer. It came out on this release date. The game has color. You can't have an objective review because most reviews, almost all, are opinion. So these people who are just screaming like objective reviews, oh, their score doesn't match up with all these other scores, so they must have been paid off, or they didn't get paid off because they gave it a lower score, or da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Not the case. In fact, if anything, if you are looking for game reviews, the best possible thing you can do is find certain editors or individuals at certain publications or YouTube channels that you agree with who tend to have the same taste as you, and follow their lead. Just follow their stuff. Like, I even do this. I don't go to every publication and read every review to decide is this game going to be for me. I follow Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, a couple of the guys over at Giant Bomb, and then a couple of different YouTubers, and go, okay, well, I can kind of get an idea of what this is about. And even then, usually I just read it to find out if it's for me. And, I personally review games as art, but I also have this knowledge that this, at the end of the day, is consumer advice. So, a perfect example is I love Saints Row 4. I had a blast with Saints Row 4. It's one of my favorite games. But I also acknowledge that game had certain problems, and certain parts of it could turn people off. That's why when I scored it, I gave it an 8. But I gave it my game of the year. And you may say, oh, well, that's awfully inconsistent. I'm like, no, not really. If I was recommending this general public, would I give it a 10? No, but if you have similar taste to me and you like the games I like, that game's a 10. And I feel as though that for some reason games are it's so hard for people to wrap their head around this. This journalist or reviewer or critic gave it a 4, and this one gave it a 9. So which one is right? There is no right answer. It's each of those individuals' taste about the game. I remember over at GameSpot when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, Carolyn Pettit reviewed that game. She gave it a very good score, said it was a very good game. I think she gave it a 9, possibly a 9.5, but also said she was turned off by what some content can be construed as sexist, and that was one of the negative points again. And people blew up about it. And why? Why? First off, if you like the game, why blow up about it? She gave it a good score. There's just this one thing, so it wasn't perfect. And people get so upset over reviews. A review is supposed to be consumer advice at the end of the day and critique to pick apart the artistic merits of a game. It's not supposed to be like this, I need this to justify my opinion of a game. Just have your opinion of a game. I personally I remember one of my first reviews for the Gamer Access was I reviewed Modern Warfare 3 and I gave it a 7.5. And this dude just flips out on me over it. If you really enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 to the point where it's a 9, why does it matter if I gave it a 7.5 or whatever, critic or journalist gave it a 7.5? Do you really need all these people to justify your opinion? Oh, this really is a good game. This isn't the 1 billionth Call of Duty in a 6-year period. And once again, it goes back to the whole objective thing. Like on CNN and these major news networks interviewing people about Gamergate, they'll be like, "We want objective reviews." That makes you sound so stupid to anyone who reviews games. Anyone who reviews games. And most people who know what a review is in other forms of media, such as film, that just makes you sound fucking retarded. You know, and it's so disappointing. And you know, a lot of people have advocated to get score out of reviews. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I do believe it is hard to, like, quantify a game in a number. But I also think that score kind of does benefit consumers in a way. And like I said, at the end of the day, this is consumer advice. Which is why when I score, you know, once again, if I were to write a text review of Saints Row 4, it'd be like, I love this, this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great. But at the end of the day, it'd be an 8, and I'd highlight why it's an 8. Because at the end of the day, like I said, consumer advice, and for the average consumer, there'd be flaws with that game. But if you have taste similar to mine, then you would love that game. Same thing with Bloodborne. You know, like, I know, I'm gonna enjoy that game a lot. I've enjoyed the Souls games. I've gotten halfway through the majority of them and quit. And I know some people who just power through them. Another perfect example is like Nick. Nick gave the Order a 9.0. If I were reviewing the Order, I probably would have given it a 6.65. There's a difference of opinion. We both realize, you know, we have completely different opinions on games. Just like if I were to review Hearthstone, I'd give it a fucking 10. Hearthstone is a wonderful game. Nick won't even play it. He just thinks it's not his style of game. And that's the thing that everyone needs to realize is when you're critiquing art, it's all a matter of opinion. Yeah, there are technical aspects. Like, The Last of Us is very technically impressive on a visual level. Whether you think of the art or does it use that technical prowess well, that is opinion. You know, a perfect example of this is I think that Infamous Second Son is a very technically impressive game, but it uses the technical prowess to create wonderful visuals that bring the city of Seattle to life. And I just hope that some, like, people watching this can know about game reviews and kind of have a better opinion, like, oh, okay, well, I see where these people are coming from. Instead of, like, going on Metacritic, seeing all the scores for a game they really like, and finding the one person who gave it, like, a 6. And are like, fuck you! This game is good because everyone else says it is, and I say it is. Like, stop using fucking reviews to justify your opinion. It's consumer advice and it's artistic critique. God, what was the last thing I want to talk about during this horrible fucking tangent that I'm... Finally, if you are using, like, game reviews as consumer advice, don't, like, you know, get an aggregate of everyone where, like a bunch of publications gave this game a 9, so it must be good. Like, find people who have similar taste to you who review games on YouTube or are professionals, like the Gamer Access, IGN, Screw Attack, etc., and go, okay, I like, you know, Patrick Klepek and Jim Sterling and Jeff Gerstmann seems kind of cool. I kind of blend with these guys' tastes. I'm going to follow them. Or, you know, go on us and just like, well, Nick has, you know, I like Nick's taste in games, and Anthony's, but I'm not so much into Bronson's. Or I'm really into Bronson's taste in games, and John's, but I don't really tend to agree with Nick. And follow their lead. And at the end of the day, like, once again, all of this is art, all of it's opinion. So please stop saying you want objective reviews. Please. Now, if someone in a review flat out lies or is wrong about something, that's a whole nother issue. But, like, getting mad because their opinion disagrees with yours and therefore it's not objective, like, makes you sound like an idiot. Anyway, this has been Bronson Rants. We got a panel this Saturday at the University of Nevada, Reno at Otaku Palooza. Go check that out. Also, Tori and Steph have a new show, Playing God, the Art of Gaming. Go check that out. And along with the rest of our content. Finally, we are streaming Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, this Saturday. John and I are going to go at it in card-based combat, dear God. Anyway, have a good week, folks. I'll be back next week or 2 weeks from now. You have an excellent week or two.
Access granted.